sorry,
Right.
Monday we're
Hi,
going to
Jim. Get us started. Call the meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. On Thursday, August 11th, Council on Aging Board of Directors meeting at 5:34. Welcome, everyone. Let's do a quick round of introductions. We actually have a new member seated tonight, so I'm going to maybe come back around and have you do a little introduction on yourself.
Sure.
I'm J.D. Miller, Board Chair. I'll go to my left.
Susan Drebich Kelly, Vice Chair.
Karen Canfield, Select Board Liaison.
Laurie Brady, board member.
Pat Carlton, board member.
Leslie James, board member.
Dee Dwyer, Board Member.
And Susan Pope.
Board member Linda Hayes, Director of the Senior Center.
And we want to welcome Susan. Susan, I'm going to come right back to you. Just tell us a 30-second on
Okay, make it nice and
what
quick.
I know you're in town,
I
what you've been
was,
doing.
I was 20 years, I worked at the Cohasset Library.
Okay.
And involved with a lot of seniors things then. And I was on the trustees board for 15 years during that time. There came an opening at the Scituate Library, so I became the adult services reference librarian. I was there for 20 years and I just retired. And I did order all the books, the clubs, interchange all day long. I was the person at the reference desk. And I loved it. And I still miss it, you know. But and I know a lot of people, you know, from the two towns. And I'm looking forward to this.
Good.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I mean, you can't retire on us, so get ready.
She has occasion to join us at the Senior Center sometime, so we're trying to keep her busy.
I'm enjoying it.
Welcome, welcome.
When I was at the selectmen's meeting, I called this place the gym.
Oh,
And I didn't even realize it. I said it, and my husband happened to turn on the TV just when I was doing it. And he said, "Jeez, it was a gym."
that was a
I liked
compliment.
it.
And when did you leave the library?
A year ago.
Okay.
Just kind
So
of
you've
in the
been
middle, yeah, so I first started out from school in Brookline, I was there. I even had a shot in root and sort of things then. And then we moved down with a new baby, and then I had a son later. And part-time job when it got to be, when they were in school, I went full-time. And I was there 20 years, that's when I was on the trustees in Scituate Town Library. And I really enjoyed that. And I went back to school, and I got the new Master's in Library and Informational Science. And the opening came, so I applied for it. And here I am, a senior, and I applied for this.
Well, welcome again.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
We'll try to get you as up to speed or ask any questions that pop to mind as we move forward,
Great,
either now or
thanks.
or offline.
Sure,
So,
thank you.
I think everyone's been distributed meeting minutes from June. We did not have a July meeting due to summer and scheduling issues and other things. So we're going to take a minute to just double check and give a quick read on June minutes. And if we have any edits or changes, we'll make those.
That was a busy meeting.
There was a lot in there.
Fred was in a band.
Some Fred is out, yes,
For one
he
time.
is.
See what?
Fred is in a band.
So. That's not a secret. They're pretty good.
They are.
Who did the report?
This one, the minutes, Marie. Get you next time.
Any edits? Changes?
No, I was just gonna make a suggestion that, you know, it would be, I think it would be nice, first of all, just so that we know, and also just recognition that maybe whoever does the report could just put down like submitted by or.
Sure, submitted by.
Yeah, just so
Most
that
do,
we have
actually,
that
I think.
on record, who did the report, in case there is a question that comes up afterwards. But also, I mean, I just have to say, I just want to add that all of you that are doing it, you know, Laurie, you, and Marie are, you know, doing a great job. And I know having done it, and
We appreciate it.
yeah, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work to do it, so thank you, Pat and Laurie and Marie, who isn't here. They're doing a great job on the minutes.
Does anyone have any edits, comments, changes to June minutes? Do I have a motion to approve June minutes?
I make a motion to approve. Second?
Thank you. And somebody already hopped in with a second, sir? Oh, Susan, okay, thank you. Very good. Well, I know it's, reading the June minutes seems like it was a long time. But,
It was.
and why don't we jump right into where we are now, Lynn?
I guess we can. Is now a good time to finish? Well, it's been a little bit of a quieter few weeks, I think. I was gone for some of July, hence the short report. I did want to mention, and Marie is not here, but the South Shore Senior News that was delivered this past, well, a couple of weeks ago, I guess, and features Marie, who does write for them, Marie Fricker. But she did do a story on the program that Susan runs, the Grief Support Group, or Grief Not Alone, and it was a really well done, nice article, nice interview with you, and just really relevant information for people who are experiencing that, and you know, we need a place to go when we restart the program this September, so it was really nice.
It was,
that she did this.
she did a great job,
Yes.
and I'm grateful that she did it, and the calls are already coming in.
Oh, yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
But if anyone has them, we have plenty of copies, and just say,
That's really nice.
one's up here.
Yeah, usually they're down in the lobby, right?
And I guess I would just mention, since you, as a segue to that, you know, for everyone that's here, I mean, I am starting a third group in September, launching on September 22nd for new people that are new to the whole, or people that haven't been in the grief support group before, to start the journey, so.
Thank you.
You're not doing three simultaneously. This is like you did one, you did two, and now you're doing a
This will
third.
be the third one. So the first one was started in November of 2020. That was on Zoom because the senior center wasn't open, well, and this didn't exist. And then the second group was started in November of 2021. In fact, the last session is next Thursday. And then I'll start another group. I mean, there are some people that came into the second group towards the very end because we can't control when people have loss. So, you know, those people that really didn't start at the beginning of the process will come to the third group. And then there are other new people that have been in contact with me. I'm probably talking to one or two people a week. Unfortunately, it's a phenomena that is part of life, so there's always people experiencing loss. So if you know anyone that has experienced a loss.
Most of them spouses or?
The vast majority are, but there are a few people that come in the group that have either lost a sibling or a parent. Like a woman that I just spoke to this week lost her mother. And there are a few people that have come that have lost a child, but it really isn't, it happened in the first group and in the second group, and both those people came to me in private and said that it really wasn't working for them because it is a very different kind of loss. So I referred them to a group that's down actually in Plymouth I don't know if it's still existing, I'll have to look, because it keeps changing. That works exclusively with people that have lost a child, because that's a different kind of loss than
Yeah.
people that lose a spouse,
Yeah.
or even a sibling, or, you know, a parent. So, they're all different, but that happens to be a pretty unique category, so. But all are welcome.
Thank you, Susan.
Yeah.
Really successful, largely because of Susan. Very nice. Otherwise, well, another happy thing, we are glad to at least offer the centenarian proclamations, which really came out of the select board, so we can't take the credit except that we get to do the presentations along with one of the select board. And this year is just crazy with 7, so we've had a few more this past week or two.
That's awesome.
Did one last week, didn't you?
Save a spot for me.
Well, and I can mention in this group, I mean, it's just interesting that the whole plaque since 2019. 2019 we had 5 because we were actually doing some that had already achieved 100 and were over because we started it that year. And then only 1 the next 2 years, each of the next 2 years, and then 7 this year. But anyway, they're all women. It's just, it's comical in a way, but so far. But this time is so unique that, although maybe I'm a little late getting to it, if we could in September invite at least and see all of the 7 who could come for a lunch together, I think that would be really nice.
Yeah.
They've been amazing, they are always amazing, but it seems more so even this year. So that's a goal. Also amazing, our artist exhibits, so this mosaic exhibit has been very well received, so colorful and, you know, just a substantial pieces of artwork. So that ends the end of August, and then we do have a call out to artists, so I'll actually just use this as an opportunity to announce that as well, that we are still looking for, not just Scituate artists, just adult artists who could submit one piece of artwork. There are some guidelines to follow for it, so we do have submission forms here at the Senior Center as well as online on the town website under Council on Aging. So that could be found there and printed and brought in. And that one should start drop off for that would be September 7th. And we've already planned an artist reception for September 9th, which is a Friday, 4 to 6, for those artists that are confirming their artwork. So that's been a nice thing too, and I will say, in terms of bringing different people into the center, we've had small receptions, low-key, I guess, receptions most of the time. The artists themselves tell their family and friends, and especially when we have the high school and the middle school artists, lots of parents get, but other siblings. So it's been a very nice way for people who haven't been in the building to come in and look around.
The display's been great.
The mosaic artists had certainly a lot of friends that did come and support them, so.
Is it,
Yeah, I'm
is
passing
it judged
this
or
around.
anybody that
It
wants to?
is not judged, it's not jury.
There's no limit to how many?
Right. Oh, but there is a limit to how many. Roughly, we could take, we're saying we could take 45. Sometimes it depends on size, but we do have the upstairs hallway as well, so we think we can manage. We've been able to do as many as 45.
But one per year.
One per artist, yes. So really, all are welcome to submit.
It's the same thing, you can just keep that if you want for your notes, but if you can pass the other one on just so that everyone else can see it, the color one, yeah. I had
Oh,
happened to
thank
have
you.
them, yeah,
There are other flyers.
yeah, just so that everyone can see.
We've received some, but we'll be able to take more just in case people don't know about it. So lunch is still lunch, everything's going well. In fact, I suppose just saying it has been a little bit quieter. Fred was able to go away for 2 weeks. Kudos to Cam for really taking on the 2 weeks. He definitely designed the menu around those 2 weeks, knowing he'd be gone and knowing what Cam could do. But he did great, and he had great support from the kitchen volunteers. They're a great team back there. So everything went well, and that was just fabulous. Nice to know. We can let him go away for a day or 10.
Oh, so are these, and is this these are new policies?
Not really so much. I guess maybe they're just repeated, but 2 days ahead, only 2 weeks in advance. Trying to get people to not stand at the front desk and, try to sign up for 5 or 6 lunches at a time.
Right.
The cafe lunches to go policy, just trying to make sure that there are lunches when someone walks in at 11:30, we don't have to say they're all sold out because people came in early or, before the exercise class and wiped them out. So we're just trying to monitor that a little bit, so the window, generally speaking, is open at 10:30 for takeout. There are exceptions to the rule. But
Is this Friday?
Friday only.
Friday,
Yes,
oh,
Friday
yeah.
only. And then lastly, cancellations continue to be a problem, so I really, although I've been reluctant to do this, we just feel like we need some kind of, right. So when we get cancellations at the last minute and we don't necessarily have the wait list to fill them with, and the numbers go down and Fred has cooked for so many, that's just a problem. So if there is a way just to say, you're still responsible for payment for that day, that may discourage it. It's not that we really want to take the payment from them for no lunch, we just want to discourage it.
I think that might change behavior, so I think.
Yeah, I think so,
I
because
think
there are
that- I
people
think
who are
that-
booking 4 days a week,
Yeah.
every week,
Yeah,
and coming
And the
2 or 3.
And we
It's
really have to
unfair.
write it down.
right. So I think that might be the thing to do.
And it's nice that they maybe are calling to cancel, but they're calling at 10 o'clock or 10:30 in the morning to
Yeah.
cancel, and that
Right.
doesn't
Day
really
before.
help.
Right.
Some know the system, and we do have those waiting in the wings, so in that respect, it's good. We want to fill the seats, and in that case, they know that, and they know that they'll probably be able to get them for lunch.
Day of cancellation, I think we should extend the charge to.
Maybe just like after the first time.
Right, maybe there's a grace, yes, I agree.
Because then I think that might improve things.
Mhm. That's what we hope, and I think we have the support for that, so.
I think the,
we'll probably
for the
try.
board, I endorse that.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate the feedback. I did submit an overview of the proposed social day program and the responsibilities that the coordinator would perform for the social day program. That right now, I'm hoping to be able to begin September mid to late or October at the latest, and begin at 1 day per week with a coordinator that's dedicated to that, so a part-time person. And then hopefully once, everything is ironed out and they're comfortable, then we could go to 2 days per week. Monday, Wednesday, or another day that we'll decide on. So that I'm looking forward to. That will be a nice addition, and I think everyone will appreciate. But we will have to solicit, and we will probably start or take 8 clients, so to speak, patrons in that group, and it's for early stage dementia, Alzheimer's. And they would probably have to have a little bit of an assessment interview with us just to make sure they are appropriate.
So if you're gonna plan on, if the target is late September, it's hard to believe it's already the middle of August, so how are you gonna get the word out to the community?
Well, that's the thing, we will put it in the September newsletter.
Okay.
And then maybe develop a brochure and try to distribute those where we can. Lillian, who you know, our transportation coordinator, is currently, and will continue to volunteer as a support group leader for an Alzheimer's support group, which is happening here bi-weekly or bi-monthly. So that's a feeder, so to speak, that, they are interested and they have loved ones that are interested in coming to that. And we know some here that, if not immediately, would probably be appropriate.
Yeah.
So it might not be hard, but.
What are you anticipating for hours? Maybe 10 to 4?
No.
4 hours?
No, I'm thinking of 5. I do know one model began 9 to 3, and I don't know if they're still doing 9 to 3, but that seems a little long maybe, and then another is a little short, 10 to 2 in Marshfield.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling like 9:30 to 2:30 to start, and if we want to change it, then we
Right.
can.
And then what, they would have,
They have
lunch would
lunch?
be provided?
They would have lunch in the dining room.
They would have lunch.
Is what I foresee, which I think would be nice. Granted,
Yeah,
they
no,
could
it
have
would be
this
nice
is-
for them to have a meal here.
This
It
is
gives
the
them-
room we would dedicate because it has the
The bathroom.
bathroom and sink. But they could go to the exercise room for exercise, they could go downstairs for entertainment if there was something in the big room, and they could go to lunch. But it is still nice to have it be kind of a contained room for activities, games, whatever they might do during the other hours.
So you're thinking what,
They
10
could go on
to,
field trips.
10 to 2?
9:30 to 2:30 is my current.
Like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you start getting into,
It gets late.
in sundowning time in the
Yeah,
morning.
yeah.
Yeah. Could be a little early, we could start at 9, but I think
Mm.
kind of in the middle.
Okay.
We did have the Rotary Club pancake breakfast last weekend, which was great. I don't know what the numbers were, but they were good. Everything went smoothly. They cooked inside using the kitchen as opposed to last year when they used grills outdoors. But it went very smoothly, I think. Congratulations to
I'm
the
still
Rotary Club.
wiping pancake batter off.
I know, that doesn't come out of.
I thought you were gonna say you're still digesting all the information.
Oh, pancake day.
The cook always
And we did.
has to sample.
We did, I kept on cooking so we could use up the rest of our batter and blueberries, and we deliver them to the fire department and the police department. So once we were done with the paying crowd, we cooked and donated and spread it around town. So,
I don't remember them making it to my street.
we didn't do personal hours.
Oh,
No.
okay.
The fire department.
There's a group home near the high school, like, had a big extra thing from a catering thing, and I just knocked on the door and said, would you use it?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think,
A residential,
yeah, residential,
that's nice to know.
yeah.
If you ever have leftovers. Well, on that note too, the building use policy has sort of again been updated but also finalized. I will upload it online so it will be available for people to see and read. But you know most of it, and at least we developed the guidelines, which will still be useful and suitable, but we are not going to do private party rentals. So even though we did develop the fee schedule, that doesn't so much apply right now, but at least it's you know.
We've got a document and
Conceived.
policy, we can just put it in the back burner.
Yeah. But I think continuing the way we have for events that are affiliated with the town, community groups, we will continue to entertain those ideas and those functions that we can accommodate, which has worked out so far, and I've been happy to do it, and I think that's also brought different people, more people into the building that might not otherwise have come, and I think that's a good thing. And everyone's been very pleased to be able to do that.
So anybody who's interested should talk to you.
Yes, yes. There is a form that we will formally have people fill out, even that are community groups and town departments for that matter. We have an internal building use form and just a general building use form. There is a new GATRA administrator. I know I've been involved in this, which seems like forever. It's a woman. She's very good, and she's there. And Frank had come back, as you know, Frank Gay, just to fill in intermittently. There was a lot I couldn't talk about really openly because a lot of what the advisory board was doing was in executive session because it was very delicate to replace the previous administrator who had been hired. But and that may continue. But anyway, Mary Ellen DeFrias, and she's going to monthly advisory board meetings, so that is not great because it's Taunton or Norton or somewhere that I generally have to go. But they've been very good at the hybrid meetings, so that if you can't make it, you can use the Zoom. So hopefully that will be good for me. I do have reports from the other staff. The building, everything's been great, but obviously the drought has affected our landscaping, and they had come in and done weeding and replaced, I guess, plants that hadn't made it last year in the first round of plantings.
Did that sort of late spring, didn't it?
But,
April, May?
yes, I believe so, but anyway, with the drought, that was hard to keep up anyway. We've lost some again.
Probably.
You know, the weeding had been done a good month ago and then needed it again. So we finally, thanks to Gordon and Jessica, our activities and volunteer coordinator, they did put together a group, and they've been here 3 days a week for the last 2 or 3 weeks weeding, which has been great. We got some mulch donated, and they're just remulching. It was mulched in the first place, but it was dried out. So that's worked out. We just really couldn't water, but our rain barrels were filled. They were filled before and got some rain. So anyway, at least that's been available. So
We have 2 or 3?
we have 2 rain barrels.
Okay.
Wow, nice. So you know, we've done the best I
Yeah,
guess
I
we
know. They
can.
look good.
generally speaking, everything does look good. We had proposed and are maybe waiting a little bit on a plumber that Kevin from Facilities had talked to, but we're thinking of increasing the capacity of the coffee maker, perhaps moving it actually into the dining room area. We can extend the water line down there, just to make things a little bit easier during our lunchtime and events. And we just need to add an electrical outlet and increase the water line and get a bigger coffee maker, which we use, the coffee supplier actually gives us, so it's not a purchase. So I'm in favor of it, Fred's in favor of it, and
That sounds like a great idea.
it will work.
Yeah, rather than having the volunteers
And
running back and
to
forth.
put a hose line in, an outdoor faucet?
And yes, actually, that might happen as well. We seem to think that this big same summer saw a way to put it on the side of the building or extend it, so yes, we hope so. Also, well, our ice machine right now is not working, so we're waiting on a part that needed to be ordered and for them to come back on that, so. We've been buying ice, which has not been fun. We do use ice, so that's been a problem. But otherwise, everything, the kitchen is operating. Whenever we lose power, which we did Sunday, I think, it resets the system, even if the generator goes on or the power comes back on. But that is the difficult part for the kitchen in relighting the pilots. So it's inconvenient, and it just hasn't really improved. It is the way it is, it's just the way the stove is, or
We're
just
leaving
not
the
easy.
pilots on,
We do leave the pilots on generally, yeah,
as opposed to being able to turn them on and turn them off.
because they're hard to relight. Mostly the griddle is the hardest to relight. The burners themselves, you know, they just take a little bit.
Is it an electrical lighting system, or is it,
No,
you gotta use a match?
oh, it's electrical, you have to hold the
Okay.
button and turn and
Yeah,
hold it for
yeah.
30 seconds, it's a pain. So, that said, from the staff, the transportation is going strong. We still have Lillian, she's doing very well, and we have, I think, Joe had taken about 6 weeks off, one of our drivers, to go cross-country with his wife on their motorcycle. So they're back, which is good news. Someone else took a short leave as well, so we're still down to 3 drivers. But you know what, we do a great job fitting everyone in, and sometimes having 3 vans gone a day, which is great. But otherwise, I'm very happy with what she's able to do. She's added, for instance, they go even to Market Basket now, at least once a month. And she's now planning a shop hop to the Derby shops, which will start in September. And I think they're going to do that monthly, especially for the holidays, and give people a chance to get out of town.
Got a lot going on.
I think the numbers are good on transportation. A lot, of course, is medical.
Yeah.
But we are getting also more people just coming here, which is actually nice, so the local rides are increasing, which is to and from, of course, so it has to be coordinated well, but it's great.
I think it's really amazing that there were more people that went shopping in June that went on medical visits, so that's actually a good thing.
That actually
That
is
is a good
amazing.
thing, yeah. It's like,
Good observation, that's
Yeah.
nice to know.
that's
I'm not
like,
really sure why the numbers went down in July, but I think because it was July.
Maybe other families.
Shopping is therapy.
Other families.
Yeah,
in
it's
town.
summer.
well, the fact that there's more people looking for rides to go shopping than to go to medical appointments, I think
There's
that's.
3 categories of medical though. In town, out of town, and
In-
Well, because even if there is a doctor's appointment in town, we can send the local, sort of the local van.
but I mean, I
if
think
they
there
have
was
time.
more medical.
She was just trying to
Yeah.
negate my optimism on life.
My glasses are half full.
The real change, and though it's continued, we do still use Social Community Action Council, but just less. But there are times we still outsource those rides, which are always out-of-town rides, we don't use them for local. And then for the outreach report, Erin's got some numbers for things she's been working on. She certainly does a lot for the Housing Authority. residents and the recertifications that they have to do every year, or the new applications for people looking for housing, so she really does offer a lot of support for that. I think you knew from the last meeting that we did have called upon the men's group and Deacon Maddie from St. Mary's to go to the housing authorities and install air conditioners, because we do get a lot of calls from them. And the housing authority themselves, the administration really doesn't have that resource for them with their own maintenance crew. So it does mean, of course, we probably have to help them take them out also next month. So that's something maybe Erin is also speaking. In fact, she met with the high school athletic director, hoping maybe that would be an inroad to getting the students organized to be able to offer some snow shoveling, and maybe also something like this in an organized fashion. We don't necessarily want to send kids on their own to various households or the apartments at the house.
So where they're gonna store,
An organized effort would be great.
you gotta store air conditioning too,
Yeah.
like where they're gonna be
Store,
stored.
and it's usually in the home.
Okay,
So
I mean, we can keep it in the apartment, great,
they have to, I believe.
okay.
We are entering fuel assistance time, that's coming up. We also did sign on to be, I mean, Erin is the go-to person for anyone applying to fuel assistance, even under 60 as well as over. The water utility bills are also going to be something that we will help manage if Social Community Action Council also has a fund that will help support that. So people can apply to us for assistance with that as well, through Erin. But anyway, there's a lot there going on, and she does tell you that on her page, but she does do a lot of work. And she is now going once a month to each of the housing authorities, as Jenny had done before COVID, just to be available, people who may not come here or just want an opportunity to sit with her one-on-one. So that's gone well.
I think it's important to do that, yeah, very good.
And she's been helping me out with the centenarians. She and Erica are together offering a monthly opportunity to be in the cafe for people to also sit and talk with them if they have any questions or don't know them well, or just want a chance to hear what they have to say. Food insecurity is something that we're looking at now. We actually had some funds that were transferred initially to us from Social Elder Services. So I have some funds that we can use to try to boost food insecurity for some clients. And we have some ideas we could buy gift cards. But also I wanted to try to use our congregate lunch to offer that as well. So maybe set aside so many lunches a week or a month and allow people to come in where we would subsidize those lunches. So that's something that she's going to work on with me. So we have money, and there is more once we spend this from Social Elder Services through agreement that came through the Executive Office of Elder Affairs, actually.
Is she noticing an uptick in food insecurities with the inflation,
You know,
cost of food?
well, that is a concern because we were told today that the SNAP benefit will probably be cut back to what it was before COVID. It had been increased.
That's
And of course, now it's been 2.5 years, and during that time, of course, inflation has increased prices,
Yeah.
but now it will be cut to the before inflation price,
That's ridiculous.
benefit. So that could be a problem, and I think we'll see more of it. So I wouldn't say so, and that's sort of why we haven't really spent the money yet that we received before, but I think we are going to
That
see
will be
more.
coming then.
And then lastly, activities and programs, which again are still strong. We did give a few instructors some time off this summer, so it's felt a little quiet, I guess, for some, not necessarily all. Sue's classes, she was offering 3 times a week, and she's going to pull back and go back to 2 times a week because it was a lot. She does 5 classes for us a week, with only 1 day not coming here, so. And they love her, so it's not going to be easy, but we are going to fill it anyway. Another new one was Drums Alive that we tried out this July, and people did like it a lot. That's another one that, even if the participation and what we charge the participants doesn't cover it completely, we can subsidize that a little bit through donations, which is worth it, I think. So, most popular activities, which is the second table, it's funny, social visits, which is the go-to thing that they press if they're not really here for a specific activity. So if they're coming in to have coffee, or to visit with someone, I suppose, or even to pick up a lunch, which I think we will start tracking, but if they're coming on a Friday to pick up a lunch, we don't actually track that yet, but I think we will. And then the Art for Your Mind, which is of course our most popular, and the only problem we have is on the Wednesday that she comes. And if we have 75 people or more trying to come, well, those are all our parking spots. And of course, it overlaps with people coming for lunch or coming for Sue's exercise class at 11. So that's been a little bit of a problem to overcome. And Bob Jackson's classes are back. So even though it seems like just a few things, it really happens sort of.
Is there a way to move her program to a different day? Or she's only available on Wednesday?
You know, really not. I mean, it probably is an opportunity for us, but people are fairly used to that, and even when you start to consider another time that she might have available, it's another problem. It's another, you know, it's another exercise class, it's still lunch.
And they're so used to it being the second Wednesday,
Yeah.
they kept showing up yesterday, even though
We had to
this
move
August it
Right.
had to move to the next week. They're just
Yeah, programmed.
We were trying to shift some other things and shift exercise classes, but because they have to be back to back because of the one classroom, that's tough too. So we're working on it, but
Yeah,
it's
I
not
was just
easy.
thinking.
She would
There were
be willing to change, but it's a little hard. But we'll keep looking at it. And our card games, of course, hand and foot card and mahjong are both down there. They're still well attended, though. We have at least 7 card tables set up in the pool room, in the card room. So,
I mean, everything looks pretty well attended.
it is. Other things worth mentioning that we're looking forward to, of course. First off, again, the community event on September 2nd, would love to have the board there, just because we're going to try to get this out publicity-wise as a community event. So we'll use some social media, put some flyers up at the library. But it is Billy and the Goats, which is the band Fred plays. They're gonna be outside on the lawn, we have the patio, we have the bocce game, we have cornhole. The softball guys will be cooking hot dogs, and Fred's making baked beans, and maybe some watermelon. So, you know, it really should be nice for 2 hours, 4 to 6. So we're happy to have something like that to do, and wanted to.
Yeah, pre-Labor Day, weekend,
Yeah.
Friday.
Exactly. So that's something to look forward to. We are also trying to spark some lifelong learning interest and do plan, I've talked about this, and I know a couple of my board members here are willing to be on a committee. We had a couple of things scheduled this summer, one of which was a 4-week program on climate change, which really was fabulous, and we knew it would be. John Clarkson, who's now since moved to Idaho.
Really?
No, where the heck is he? Utah.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. I know, but their son's there, and Kathy. So, but he did do the 4-week class. People really enjoyed it. We also had Kate Baxter do a legislative overview class that was really to engage participants in how they could participate and give them an opportunity, I suppose, to banter, and Susan was in it. That's great. So that was a beginning. We did try to offer a sort of a literature writing class that didn't fill up quite as much as we would have liked, so we didn't run it, but she would do it again at another time. But on that note, so this fall, we do have someone coming for just a one-off presentation, history of the Red Sox, or some of the Red Sox players. Unfortunately, they might not be in the playoffs, so hopefully people will just want to continue the season that way.
And who's that? Is that the guy who's done it before?
Herb Crehan, yes. It is the same guy we had before.
He knows this.
He does, and he writes for the
Sox.
program at Fenway. Another opportunity here, someone on Ukraine and the global impact, so that should be a great presentation. And then we have a couple on internet safety and also fall prevention. September is Fall Prevention Month, so we do try to usually put out some information and get someone in here that can help remind people the importance of whatever it is that does help with balance, whether exercise or mindfulness or other habits that might need to be changed. Also something new, manicures and pedicures, foot care. We have someone who's going to come in and do that by appointment. We have a couple of presentations by the Alzheimer's Association coming in, and some mental health workshops, which have also been very well received by one of our volunteers. So that's very good. Those are two, one each month, one on stress management and one on relaxation and meditation techniques. Our garden series, which has also been very, very well attended. So we have a lot of new things going on, and you know what they are. The bus trips, everybody does like. Those are limited because we do share with the other COAs. So we get so many seats on the bus, and once those are gone, the only other way to increase those seats is if they're not used by the other COAs, which does happen. Our people love the trips, but not all of them fill the seats that they've been given, so sometimes they're bigger. But we do have some nice ones coming up.
Are they already sold out, or
Yes, I do
Yes.
believe so, yes.
how far in advance do you have to?
Well, they were in the last newsletter, and usually we try to keep it so they have to see Jess and they have to pay.
In
So,
like 1 minute?
Although, well, she does list the Boston Pops. I'm not even sure that that was going to go, because I thought they had a little wrinkle there, but maybe it is. So, they're great, but usually.
Yeah, I don't think there's a date yet. That's why.
Okay. So we might be
So you
doing that
go
one
up.
ourselves. That might be it, because people do want to go to that. Anyway, so that's a quick overview at least of the activities. Volunteers are strong, both on the front desk and in the kitchen. Our donation pickups, the young people that help set up the dining room, it's wonderful. And we do have some newer volunteers who are helping with van rides when we do the companion assistance. So that's new, and that's going well too, and we've already used
Good.
it. So that is about it, I think, from me. If you have any questions on anything.
What's the hand-foot card game?
The hand and foot card game, they tell me it's like canasta. I really don't know, but they love that. We practically have to kick them out on Monday afternoons. So, and it's, we practically sometimes forget they're here, just because it's so far away, but then all of a sudden they start leaving and there's 25 of them or more, so it's a good game.
Does anyone have any questions, comments, ideas?
I do.
for them?
Always good. Okay.
Yeah, things are, it's a pretty full slate. Good. Karen, nice to see you. Thanks
Well,
for being here.
I like August when things allow
Yeah,
me to get here
right.
at 5:30. Couple of things I wanted to just bring to your attention is kudos to everybody for getting the building policy forward. Linda had it come 3 times before the board. And we kept going, what about that, what about that? But it's good, that's one of the startup issues, trying to get the policy right, so that was great. And welcome to Susan. I'm so glad we get to keep you in the municipal world.
Thank you.
You mentioned in the minutes that you, at your last meeting, that special town meeting is coming up. It's on September 18th, Monday night at 7 o'clock at the high school as usual. It's a special town meeting, but it is jam-packed with really important issues, and we're really trying to make sure we get the word out for folks to come and be heard and vote, because there's some very impactful things. The most important in my mind is the voting on the location of the water treatment plant. We got the funding, was voted at annual town meeting. Pilot programs have been done, but we can't move forward until the town approves a site. So that's the most impactful. Yep.
I read, they sent something out today that, here's what the location and then
Oh, I didn't see that.
town looks like.
Who
I
sent
looked
what
at
out where?
The town.
So an
How did
email?
you get
We
it?
got an email.
So
Everybody
if
who
you're
lives
on
in
the-
town got an email.
Well, if you're signed up to receive them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, well, I'm signed up to receive them. It doesn't say that it says the location is this. It doesn't say it's.
Well,
It's north of the
it
old-
won't be finalized until the 19th.
Until
So
we-
Okay.
it's recommend,
Alright.
I haven't seen it. Look, the
Read it with
document.
the John style.
I'll have to go
I
read
thought I
that
got
document.
something.
honest, I mean, there's a link on the town website
Yeah.
that shows, and I'm gonna do air quotes, which I hate, alternate sites. And it shows pros and cons of all of them. Obviously you wanna go through that diligence.
Yeah.
Hands down, by far, much not even easier, much more cost-effective, and the end result is much more desirable, because you can, and I won't go into the weeds, but to build the plant that we need enough square foot, enough acreage to do that, and we don't have that much land, we don't know that.
So you're saying Stetson Meadows is.
Well, that was
Stearns
the
option.
Meadow,
Yeah, that, during the last meeting, when they voted to appropriate the funds, they did go through the various locations and explain the pros and cons of each, so. Yeah.
And, prior to that, the town authorized purchasing that land for municipal purposes with the intent of looking at it as a site, because we don't have that many places where we can put it. And it's adjacent to our reservoir, so it really is hands down way, way better. There's opposition from the folks that live behind there. Obviously, they don't want their woods disturbed, and that's understandable. So the town has been working with them to try to, it's sort of a chicken and egg thing. You aren't gonna expend money on designing the plant until you know the plant's gonna go there, which is gonna make the residents uncomfortable because they don't know exactly what they're getting, especially those who are gonna be abutting. So it's a circular thing, we can't really, so the work has already begun to work with the residents, and it's already, like the original concept, even the board was like, whoa, too many trees. They're like, I know, we're just showing you it'll fit. And now it's already shrunk back quite a bit. So it's a very deliberate process.
Is it the first thing on the agenda?
I believe, well, there's the consent
I can't
agenda
stay up
is
till
first.
11 o'clock,
It
I'm
is the
sorry.
first substantive thing.
Okay.
And then after that, the other sort of big ticket thing, and they are big ticket things, are the capital recommendations, capital expenditure recommendations. And there are 5 of them that'll be on the warrant, and it's everything from replacing the Jenkins roof to actually emergency funding for the plant. Because it's not gonna get, even if we get it, everything else
Takes a couple
go,
years.
it takes a couple of years. And we got bubble gum and duct tape on them together right now, so, there's a list of those, and then CPC will be coming with recommendations, for some projects that they've been working on, which I'm trying to think about the biggest one in that. Oh, the biggest one in that is, because of this facility, we need to, and the athletic field, a lot of moving parts. We need another 90-foot baseball field for our young athletes, to comply with Title IX and some other regulations. So that has been, multiple sites were looked at, including right out here, and I believe the final recommendation is over on Central Field. So that's part of the CPC warrant, and a bunch of other things. So please look at the warrant. I'll be scurrying off to advisory next, because they're doing their review of the warrant things, and they'll be looking, the reason I have to go is there are recommendations for changes to the charter, which your fine husband was helpful with. And that, we're gonna be doing a push to educate people what could and could not be done. So with a commission, you cannot change form of government. That requires a whole other step, which I'll talk about in just a second. The commission's job was to look at, Susan, you would love this, the job was to look at the document, which had not been revised since 2003, I believe, clean it up, fix it, look at what works, doesn't work. There's a bunch of stuff in there that just isn't even relevant anymore. Do all that homework, and then have a conversation about the things that are outside of elections that could be improved upon. As it turns out, we robustly discussed this for 18 months, and great committee of folks from all different departments. And at the end of the day, many of the things we think could be improved upon are better addressed through bylaw changes. The reason being is charter's a big deal. You have to vote on it by the 10, and it has to go to the legislature and be approved. It's harder to tweak. If you do it in bylaws, it still requires the town to approve it, but we don't have to send it to the legislature. So the biggest example of that, and it happens every couple of years, we have knockdown dragouts about school maintenance. Who's responsible, who pays for it, what budget, who's overseeing it, you know, we don't have one of these. And it's complicated. And so that was the biggest one that we said, yes, we know, we want to deal with that piece in the bylaws. But that's just one example of those things. So you'll be seeing me post up soon for populating a new bylaw review committee, because we're going to give them all that information and say, here you go, start here. So those are the big things. The other big thing was changing some timing on how the capital planning committee, which is appointed by our moderator, can be more impactful in their review of recommendations from the town administrator. So that will be on the warrant. That will be before town meeting for election, for voting. The reason the commission, the difference between a committee and a commission, I'll give you the cliff notes on it. To look at and recommend changes to how we govern our town, which is, do you want selectmen, do you want representatives, do you want a mayor, do you want a monarchy, whatever it is you want. That requires by state statute an elected board review, which hasn't been done, I should remember how long it's been, but it's been quite a while. I believe it's 9 members have to decide to run and be elected to serve on that committee. They will do their review. There's no predetermination. They will review and make a recommendation to the town, and then it would have to go to town meeting and to ballot and to the legislature. So it's a 2 to 3 year process. So the board felt we do the commission first, which is just clean it up, and then the committee first, and if the committee felt that there were enough, there was enough reason to look governance, we would recommend commission, which the committee has done so. So that'll be the next fun-filled thing that will be happening in the town, and it may not change. Just people assume you have a commission that's changing. It may not. It's to look at it. So that's town meeting, and I also, just a couple of little things. Our board, after the May elections, we reorganized. I don't think I've seen you guys, so I'll just tell you. So, and that means our new chair for the next year is Tony Vignani, who is also the co-liaison to this board. So the two of us share, and I think there's usually 2, I don't remember.
Do you alternate formally, or, I mean,
No.
or just back up, or whatever?
It's back up, and it's, you know, the Council on Aging in this building impacts so many residents that we felt that, you know, and we have that on a number of different boards, but we'll have 2 people that kind of are available. And I saw that Tony's going to be addressing the men's breakfast, so that's great. And another, just little housekeeping things. The Scituate Visitor Center has been launched. It's
North Scituate.
virtual right now. No, it's not. They don't have a home yet.
Okay.
That's phase 2.
The posts are amazing on Instagram.
They
It's
are
amazing.
doing a great job.
Yeah.
And I'm telling everybody this, but you had a couple events already. It's really, I think, going to be really synergistic. Any public event that you want to publicize, make sure that they are aware of it, and they'll put it on the events calendar. So there's one place where people can go and say, oh, what's happening in Scituate today? Instead of going,
how do
I'm
you-
interested in the senior center, I'm interested in that.
Is it only on Instagram?
No, they have a website.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, it's ScituateVisitorCenter.com, I believe, cover me. And they have Instagram, I believe Facebook, and they've really hit the ground running. So it's a really useful tool, and the more people that populate that, the more it'll help everybody.
It's .com, .org.
One or the other?
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
it's in the bio, whatever that means. And the last thing I wanted to mention, I think that you guys are very excited about, is that, and Susan, you probably already know this, the Thoreau Way, which is the name of the outdoor garden space that's going to be built behind the library. So between Central Park and the library is going to be an outdoor reflection area. It'll be used for programming, it'll be used for, I mean, it's meant for quiet reflection, and it's in honor of the young man, Michael Goulding, who passed a few years ago. And that, bids are coming in, and it's expected to be constructed by the end of the year.
So is that where they have the outdoor conference right now?
Yeah. It's kind of to the left of that, so
I
it's,
see.
that little area is going to be
It's
more.
a beautiful spot there, it's really,
It's beautiful, and it's
So
very
it'll be like
synergistic
sitting
with what we're
areas
trying
and
to do here.
meditative.
Exactly,
Oh, that'll be beautiful.
yeah. So I thought it would be interesting. No, that's all I have for today, Mr. Chair.
Can I just ask you a
Oh, I
question?
had one more thing
Okay.
too, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
No,
I
go,
always have one more
no,
thing.
well, go do it before you forget.
Oh, yeah, and I wrote it down and I still forgot. I did meet with your esteemed chair at the end of June, and it was very, he came with a notebook, which I stole from him, of things that the board could support the Council on Aging on. Everything from, recycling in the building to supporting folks in our senior housing. And I have not forgotten it, and I've been chipping away at it, but it's the right reason why you come to meetings, so you can write it up and refresh it back up. So I want to thank you for doing that, because that really is helpful. And question?
Yeah,
Do you
I was-
remember?
I was gonna say, she's forgotten the question.
No, I was just interested in two things. One is there any information on what the building that's sitting like right where St. Mary's is? It used to be a bank, I guess.
Mm.
That building.
Oh, on
Go
that
back
corner?
and
Yeah,
It's, I've heard, honestly, they haven't, I mean, they pulled a permit, and it was gonna be, I think, like a WeWork kind of thing.
that's what I heard, because
But
they
it's a-
just started working on it again after
Yeah.
sitting there for a while.
I know, we all want to know. But it's a private business that doesn't require anything other than
Oh, I
a
see,
building
so a
permit.
private business bought it.
It's my understanding, yeah, so they
And the old-
don't need a permit for their business other than,
Oh,
I know, that's what I heard.
I have
It's
two quick questions.
just a rumor.
The visitor center in North Scituate, is that no longer, by the playground?
That's the
The old
WA,
station.
the WPA building.
Yeah.
That's a town building that is used for, it's actually, the veterans use it for an awful lot of meetings. I asked them about, I'm like, why aren't you meeting here?
They do.
But
know why.
that is not a visitor center.
Was
It has
a-
been
was it-
considered as a
okay.
site. They're not ready to go physical yet, mostly because they need to have a working model and funding. Because they tried, trying to get enough volunteers to staff it reliably didn't work. So they're decided to stay virtual until they're ready for that. And then there's big debate on where to site it. Oh, one more thing?
So is that a budgetary item that we need to, hire?
Well, it's a
Town?
nonprofit. It's not a town, it grew out
Visitor
of,
center is
yeah, the Scituate
No,
Visitors,
not-
which is a good
is
thing.
not affiliated with the town.
No,
No.
but I'll tell you why. It's because of
Change the
opportunity.
colors.
We can't sell advertising. We can't solicit, we can solicit grants, but different kinds of
Okay.
grants. And we're less nimble. So it grew out of support, it grew out of EDC forming Scituate Loves Local, which was a town initiative, and realizing that really supported the town. And then they started working with Plymouth, which they're amazing at it. And it's a nonprofit.
Yeah.
So it will dovetail with our chamber, it will dovetail with our EDC and all of that. But it is a
Gives us
standalone
more
501c.
flexibility.
Pardon me?
More flexibility.
More flexibility. So anyone interested, they're always looking for help. And the last thing I forgot to mention is that the design for the Pier 44 site
Mhm.
has been awarded.
wow.
The company, we've hired the company that will design it, let's put it that way. And it will be some kind of passive park with some structure. And you reminded me of that because that's one of the things we float around is, should a visitor center be located there? So that process has just done.
But it's gonna turn into a park?
Yeah, the building will be taken down,
Mhm.
some kind of passive park, incredible consensus. There were over 1,000 people responded to the survey, which is amazing. And even more amazing, overwhelming consensus about how that site should be used. But, some kind of structure. The other thing everybody wants is public bathrooms. so, down in the harbor. So that process has started. No, I promise that was it.
My last question.
Yeah.
The water, you're looking to, for location for the water treatment?
We're recommending at Stearns Meadow, which is the site.
If we see it already working with the groundwater go away?
No, magically, no. But what will happen is, it is the biggest piece of the puzzle. So the puzzle started with replacing the old cast iron 100-year-old pipes, which started 7 or 8 years ago. That pipe replacement, there's 100 miles of pipe in town.
Right.
So that process started 7 or 8 years ago. You can only really do 2 or 3 miles a year, either because of funding and because we'll get
Water,
killed.
water
Well, no.
needs.
No, because you do it, you don't
Yeah.
take it away until you put the new one in. You dig up roads.
Yeah.
So there's only so much here. So that started 7, 8 years ago to do all of that. That removes a lot of there's a lot of reasons why the old pipes, they break, you can't clean them, the sediment sits in them because you can't clean them. So that piece is done. Now that we've got those really fragile pipes gone, we can flush the pipes. And we can do that as long as there's water, so that's done in the spring and the fall. This fall, probably not gonna happen because of the drought, but that's part of it. That gets the stuff that's already in there out. The water treatment plant addresses the problem in 3 ways. One, it will take out all the manganese that we now will have the technology so that the stuff that causes the brown won't go in the system anymore. That'll be, so no new stuff will come in. The second is we will be able to have more capacity because it's a more, the plant we have now is built in the 60s and it's very inefficient. So one of the big benefits is 30 to 40,000 gallons a day of stuff that gets taken out of the water goes to our sewer plant. So it will also help our sewer plant capacity because that'll happen. And the third is redundancy. Right now, our plant, and this is what happened at the beginning of the summer, if something goes wrong in the plant that was built in the 60s, and we have to shut it down, we have to shut it down because there's no backup system.
Right.
And all modern plants have a redundancy built in. So, okay, this tank has to go down, we'll work on this one. So that will address a lot of the problems for the system. Will it magically make it go away? No, but will it be part of what will be necessary to make it go away? We can't make it go away without it. Long answer.
I have one question. I heard a rumor that the stairs at Miami Beach was approved.
That's a fact.
It's a fact?
It's a fact, signed, sealed, I actually
Okay.
signed the contract yesterday.
Well,
So all 4 staircases, they're going to be emergency repaired, not replaced. So the 4 stairs that lead down from Glades
They'll
Road,
be
There's one
usable.
Crumbling.
the ones that are completely useless right now?
Yeah, the ones you can't use.
Yeah, they will all be within, probably at the beginning of September, this year.
Good.
They're going to be down there and dug out and the bottom part will be fixed. It only took 10 years.
Yeah.
But that was an alignment of permits, funding, and support. Thank you.
Good news.
Yeah.
That was a win this week.
Yes.
Should I ask a short question on, is there any conversation about what to do with gates?
I did not plan that. So the board, when we reorganize, we also schedule a retreat, which is to align our priorities for the coming year. Because like with the stairs, you have to pick which battles you're gonna fight and where the priorities are. Obviously, the water treatment will be, I can't imagine, not be everyone's number 1. But number 2 is probably, at least for me, and I know for some of the other board members, is to get out a request for proposals, which JD and I have already talked about, and our town administrator is working on what that's gonna look like. And I gave him I've gotten a lot of input from you and from other folks that work in reuse of buildings. So I will suspect that will be a priority for this coming year. So at least get it out there and see what we
Right.
can.
What the
Deal with
conversation is,
Yep.
what the ideas are.
Yep.
All right. Very good.
So what else have you been doing?
I'm late for a diving, so that,
Yeah, you
you have an
gotta go.
excuse, yes.
Thank
I
you,
gotta go
Karen.
talk charter.
Thank you,
All
Karen.
right, that was nice, thanks.
All
Karen.
good.
For all
See
of
you.
your
It's
time
nice to have
and
you
talent.
All good information. Thank you for,
I know.
Sharon.
Sorry to leave, but.
no,
Bye, Nancy. Bye.
no.
Tell advisory I'm on the way.
Yeah, the
I would
Scituate
say-
Visitor Center is .com.
Okay.
It is
Thank you.
.com. Bye.
Awesome. I don't have anything on FOSS.
Oh, well, what we know, Elaine apologizes for her last minute cancellation. Well, there is a lunch planned, which some of you may know. I may not have included. So Pam Davis, who was at one time COA board chair for several years, and then also has been on FOSS now for several years, is moving to Florida. So they have planned a luncheon for her on the 19th. Any or all of you would be welcome to attend as well. So it's a Friday. It's at 11:30 for an hour here anyway. So just let me know if you would like to come so we have numbers. FOSS is also planning, and this seems to be going over pretty well, a comedy night this month, August 26th. It's a 6:30 in the evening event. They, I believe, are planning on a one-day liquor license, so there is a cocktail hour and then 3 comedians. So it is posted downstairs as well, and we have tickets here, or usually they have a FOSS representative who's selling them in the building. But it should be fun. So it's here. And tickets are $20. The bar will be cash bar, and there will be hors d'oeuvres. So that's it, but they are, they're revving up again, I guess, to become
Mhm.
active again after the hiatus, so to speak.
Mhm.
So,
And does everybody know that Jean Young's husband passed away?
thank you, Leslie. Yes, sadly, Jim Young did pass away last Sunday, which is a great loss for all of us. Sad. She's having a private burial tomorrow for his ashes, and then hopefully there'll be something later that we could.
Yeah, I hope so.
Thanks for mentioning that.
Thank you for that update. And Joan Powers, I don't know if everybody knows about this news either. Joan fell and broke 5 ribs, I believe, on Sunday. So Joan is.
Because she was here and working
She was
Saturday.
here and working on Saturday, but she fell leaving St. Luke's, I think, on Sunday, or doing something. So Joan is sort of recovering. If anybody has any reason to contact her, just shoot her an email. She did not, this is a long-winded way of saying it was not really a social elder services report because they didn't have a meeting this past month. And the only thing she wanted me to report out was that St. Luke's would be doing their monthly community dinner the 28th of August, St. Luke's, 5 o'clock, community dinner. So,
We are providing transportation, should anyone need it for that, just to put that out there, if anyone knows of older people who aren't driving and might like a ride. We can do that.
and otherwise, that's all Joan had to pass along. I don't have anything else off the top of my head. Does anyone have any old or new business items to bring?
Nope.
Okay. This is not necessarily a meeting issue, but do you have to check out the piano?
I meant to send an email or call and I haven't yet. Excuse me, sorry, I want to.
Okay. If no one has anything else to add, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Leslie, thank you. Second.
Second.
Pat, thank you.
Before my third sneeze.
Thank you, everyone.
Wait, it'll come.
Thank you. So next meeting will be September.
Oh goodness, I think it might
I wanna
be
say
September 8th.
Yeah.
September 8th, I will be here, so.
It's my son's birthday. I don't know if I can be here.
And I won't be here either.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, it's
And
up.
you know,
No, I was
that's-
teasing first of all, but.
That's the trip to
Or do we
Rockport,
want to move the meeting?
and I think
Yeah,
we're gonna be
I'll be
coming
flying
back
home
real
from
late.
Alaska.
It's the PBD Essex,
I'm gonna
okay.
let 'em
So
go.
Well,
we
Maybe
make
to
it a
be
week
continued,
later.
because the reason it's September 1st is a Thursday, but maybe we could push it out, so.
Okay.
Make it
I'll
later,
decide that
because we're
now.
gonna get involved, we've been late coming back on the
Yeah.
street because of traffic, that,
That's the people.
it'll be tough.
Okay, well, we'll take a look at the calendar and try and figure it out. We'll be back in,
Okay,
the following Thursday would be
would
what?
be the 15th.
15.
But that'll be the, yeah, wait a minute, D, that's the third Thursday.
It is.
D,
Dave, you cannot make a reservation for lunch.
the third Thursday of the month is PPC meeting.
If it's Wednesday,
D,
you have to
who's
make a reservation.
engaged in conversation.
PPC.
And we're both on the parish
Okay.
council.
Oh,
meeting.
You can only make it
D.
one.
We're just trying to, sorry for interrupting,
Yeah,
but
no.
I just want to, because they're talking about moving the meeting to the following Thursday, but that would be the third Thursday, and that's probably going to be the PPC meeting.
I know, I don't remember what the day is, so.
We could
Would
try
that be
changing
the
our night or
18th?
try doing a lunch.
Up to Tuesday, which would be the 13th.
Yes, so,
That's okay with me.
I think we did that one other time.
We
Yeah.
have, yeah.
Like move it off of the Thursday and move it.
Yeah, we could do
I
that.
have no clue either,
Okay.
yeah, because the next Thursday would be the 15th, and that is the parish council meeting.
We'll develop that.
And I can't do the
Sooner.
15th either.
Okay. So it'll have to be a different day.
I think Tuesday or Wednesday.
So you email us?
I will, earlier than normal, just because it's off the schedule.
Okay.
Thanks for coming, everybody. Welcome.
September to be.
Back to the
Yeah,
water
yeah.
information.